titles in RPGs. That's right. We're talking about royalty in a fantasy setting. Now, one of the most disturbing, pathetic things I see out of players over and over again is not acknowledging, just no selling that. Like, okay, you made a character who is like the prince, right? He's the prince of the land. For some reason, he's out adventuring. Let's not get to that. Let's not get to that. Not ever. But he's out there adventuring, right? And the rest of the party members is Bob the Prince, okay? They're like, hey, Bob, it's never the correct form of address. I will never see that. I have even confused players, I think even to the point of making them feel kind of to the level almost uncomfortable by forcing that in games. I refuse to play anyone that has any kind of title in games because I just see it no sold all left and right. It fucking drives me berserk. So to just save myself an aneurysm, I won't do it. But if someone else is playing a knight, a lord, whatever, I will make sure that I figure out in that game setting what is the proper address. Sadly, most game masters will go, So I just take what is a typical medieval setting, whether it's your lordship, your grace, your eminence, your highness, whatever the particular term is, and you can look these terms up on Google and so forth, figuring all that out, so you can address the character like that. Because you don't have that level of formality. And remember, you can't play real world in the game. You don't have Google. We have a very lax society, at least in America, in terms of social mores and formality. It's very, very, very lax, I mean, you got slobs wearing white t-shirts making videos that aren't even shaved, let alone into formal proper addresses. So, when you engage in that right off the bat, when you bow, when you defer to, when you thank them for condescending to you, just by speaking to you, the fact that, you are beneath them, and if you're from a society that has that, you might go, oh, that's not that fun. No, man, that is fun. That's getting there into the mindset of your character. Your character would be in all of these people. Those are your fucking celebrities. Those are your rock stars, all built into one. Your king, he's the fucking shit. You might hate that motherfucker, but he's still the shit, and he's a shit. He's better than you. Shit, he gets to live up in that big ass palace and decide and men live or die. He's put there by God. So, you're going to have, that kind of relationship where you're very differential to these individuals. Make sure that you're playing that up. Nothing, where I'm going to be the rebel. No, dude. No. The rebel would be like maybe you looked up one time. That's enough. Again, you're playing on a 10-point scale for modern people. If you think looking up might get you hung, maybe you looked up. But you start to go and smack him in the mouth, throw him on the ground, take a dump on him, fucking punch him in the mouth, have your horse come over so I can start pissing on him. That level of just absolutely ridiculous. So let's see just complete no selling. So I have a game I'm playing, a character. I knew no one else was going to be doing it. It was a game that it was a mix of some good and some bad players. And I'm playing my character, who is very much lawful evil. And I always write with the proper form of address. To him, yes, your lordship, yes. And the guy, even in character, oh, you don't have to say that, which is fucking shit role playing. This part, he should be like, oh yeah, even if he's supposed to be the man for the people, I mean, he still should be like, okay, he expects that. That should just not even be a thing. That's just expected. You understand? That's showing him that respect. He's going to expect that respect. You understand? All the more so if he is, respectable. So, and that's why I had to pull him out of character. Look, man, in that society, in that setting, this is what you would be accustomed to. This is what you'd be used to. This is for your family. This is my character. He would have to roleplay that. It wouldn't make any sense. I just looked at me completely fucking confused. After the third, I don't know, after about the third time or so, he'd try to say it in character. And this is after, weeks of, role playing that out. So, I mean, that's exactly how that would go. I mean, it's not my character being nice or being good. He's just being proper. And I was like, oh, man, I didn't think about that. And no one else. Even seeing my cues, the rest of them just, they couldn't believe somebody would actually role play. So, that was quite annoying to me. Again, I typically try to only play with certain players, certain vetted groups, but every once in a while, I'll play in other groups and be disappointed. But it's good to say. But at the same time, try to put that thought into people to be your character, put yourself in that mindset in this setting. So if you're going to have nobility, if you're going to have royalty, if you're going to have people of exalted position, whether they're knights, you're going to be looking up to those people, and conversely, they're going to be looking down on your peasant ass. You're less than they are. They know it, and so do you. Try to internalize that. Do not look at role-playing games through a modern lens. Not a fantasy game at any rate. A fantasy game is often incredibly loosely based off of medieval society, based off of a society that's older than that, and of course, very, very loosely. Still, you don't have the steps that necessarily going to lead to a relaxed society. Now, if you do, you might not have titles. Then you might not have positions like knights or kings and so forth. So, that's going to be a breakdown. But when you have those positions, there are going to be corresponding titles. It only really makes sense unless for some real thought-through reason, there's a reason that perhaps certain things don't apply. Again, there's always a reason, if well thought out. Certainly anything could be undone or abolished. But if you have that player in a game who has that, fucking shine. This is I'm going to tell you, get your shine on. You're going to use his ass to put yourself over. It'll look great. And you're selling for him, but you're getting deeper into character, and you're showcasing all the other players. Look who the man at this table is. They'll be looking at you. Wow, you're using the correct form of address. You look down, you speak to him. You're making these mannerisms. You defer. You listen to him. And that really leads to a great thing. That I have a chip on my shoulder because you're this and that. No. You might. But you're going to keep that shit to yourself because you're going to be scared. You're going to get fucking killed. Royalty isn't like it is in a Disney movie. That kind of shit never existed, and it wouldn't exist in a fantasy world. Kings are just fucking gangsters, dude. They were just gangsters. They had a bunch, like Tony Soprano rolling there with a mob, and they said, all right, you motherfuckers are our slaves now. We're going to call you serfs. You're going to do what we say. So that's the kind of mentality you're dealing with up there, not this fucking Disney bullshit that we have inculcated into particularly our young girls. I have issues with that, but we're not going to get on that right now. What I want to say and get on is use those proper forms of address, put that over. I don't like to play that kind of character game. I don't really think that kind of character fits very well into your typical D&D game and can really cause a lot of balancing issues in the game in a way that it's not statistical for combat. So think about that when you're going to play in a game where anyone has a title. Or if you are going to play with a title, and just pull the players aside if they're playing a shit job and say, look, man, you need to refer my character this way and this and this, and then break it down for them. Explain it to them. So they don't go, oh, you're being a cunt. They'll say, okay, well, I understand why you think that, why I should do that. That makes sense now. If you kind of calmly put it to them, they might play that, and then you're going to bump it up and get another level of role-playing out of it. Try to, anything you can, like a title or something like that. Only value those things have is to get more role-playing value. But if they're giving you less role-playing value because they're not being used right, they're a bad thing. You see, so it can go either way. But it's incumbent upon you, because you have watched my video, to make sure the shit goes smooth and goes right and goes the best possible way it can.